Okay. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Woman to Woman. It's the year of the woman, and every Wednesday, we're going to just be talking about important issues for us. And so today, I'm really excited. Today, I have, now, do I call you Lauren or do I call you Doctor?
Call me Lauren, please.
Okay. So today we're with Lauren. Well, I was introduced to her as Lauren Stein, but I see it's Lauren Grossbach.
Now it's Lauren Grossbach.
Okay. And so Lauren is here with me, and I'm going to let her tell you what she does, which is what we do every week because we want to talk about ourselves. But this week we are going to talk about communication, having a voice. For so long, I've been running into women who are like bosses, like they can bring people to their knees in a boardroom, but then when they go home, their kids run all over them, or vice versa. At home, they are the queen, and when they walk into certain rooms, they kind of lose their confidence and their voice. And or in love relationships or other types of relationships, how do I have a voice? I hear that all of the time, or I'm finding my voice, or I finally got my voice. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I'm going to hand it over to Lauren, just so she can tell you just a little bit about herself.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Of course. I always love talking about communication. And I love having an outlet to be able to do that, because after about a half hour of my husband listening to my spiel on communication techniques, he's a lovely ear, but it's great to have a platform to be talking about this really important topic, especially for women. Yeah. So about me, I'm a relationship counselor. So I help people look at their relationships, specifically the patterns that exist in their relationships and what's not working. So what are the dysfunctional patterns of relating, of communicating? And then, of course, creating new ways to relate, to communicate, and to connect. So my work is all about feeling heard, being able to both listen and feel heard in your relationships, and just be able to create some new ways of being able to communicate with your loved ones. And like you mentioned, it could be in the boardroom, it could be with your colleagues, it could be at home with your partner, with your kids, with your own parents, right?
That's right.
A lot of us adult children, still struggle with a lot of that. So my work is in helping people look at their relationships, find out what's not working, and then create some new, healthier patterns.
That's awesome. And I'm so glad you're here. So, we have people watching, and we're going to have probably some questions, but I'm going to kick us off. Right. So you said something really important. So let's just start with that. Many of our members and, just in general, we're at the age that we've almost become parents to our parents. And oftentimes we're the caregiver, and we know what's right for our parents. But because they have been our parents, we don't know how to communicate those messages so that they understand that what we're doing is for their own good, right? So it's almost like if you say that, then you sound like what they would say to you, and they don't want any part of that, right? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm the adult, right? Well, no, we're both adults now. So how do we have those conversations? And they're very tough, because here are people who have been very independent. They raised us, and now we're saying, no, you can't do that. No, you can't drive anymore. No, you need to take your medicine. Oh, we have to look at maybe downsizing. Those are very difficult conversations to have. How do we start those conversations? And then how do we maintain our footing to really make sure that whatever we are doing, it becomes a very constructive conversation?
Yes, this is such an important question, because these cycles continue through the generations. So being able to break that cycle with your parents to be able to have those tough conversations. And they are really tough. They're
Are.
emotional. You know, let's not forget to mention the vulnerability that exists in those conversations and how important that is. So whenever I'm working with clients that have to have those difficult conversations with their parents, I usually say just start off by talking about what that conversation feels like. You know, likely your parent is struggling with their own emotions related to the upcoming changes. They probably know that the change is coming, or maybe they're in denial, they're resistant, and we want to honor those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than jumping into the conversation of, okay, mom, we got to figure this out,
Right.
starting off with, how does it feel, you know, living here by yourself? And, you know, how did it feel when you fell last week and, you know, I needed to rush over to help you? Tap into what's happening for them, because the more they feel heard, the more that they're going to be willing to hear what you have to say as well. And then they get the sense that you understand where they're coming from, at least to a certain extent.
Well, I think that's great advice. The thing that I've heard a lot is that conversation doesn't happen until an emergency has happened, right? To your point of how did it feel breaking your hip, you know, but it's sometimes the denial goes very deep. And the other conversation that I think is difficult, and then we'll move off of parents, but having conversations about money, because them being on a fixed income, and some people, you know, God bless, they have set it up that conversation doesn't need to happen because they've set it up. But in 2021, oftentimes what you thought you set up, you don't have. And so how do you manage that conversation? Because I think that's almost as hard.
Oh, I think I lost you there for a second. Kimberly, you still there? I think I lost you.
Okay, we're
there
back.
we are. Sorry.
The strangest thing. I saw you backstage, then I didn't see you at all. So sorry, everybody. I'm not sure what that was.
I have a feeling that this crazy weather has affected our Wi-Fi systems.
I think it's overused. Oh no, we're losing her again. Guys. I'm really
Oh,
sorry.
no,
Okay,
I'm
let's try it again.
sorry.
Look, if we
Okay.
continue to have problems, yeah, I think you're back. If we continue to
Okay.
have problems, we'll just come back another time.
Yes.
But let's just keep trying.
Sounds good. You were talking about having those difficult conversations about finances, about
Parents.
timing. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So starting those conversations early is the best thing that you can do. Don't wait until it's so late that, you know, mom or dad has an accident, that they need urgent care. You want to start those conversations early on, asking them how they picture the rest of their lives to be. You know, a lot of older adults are in denial because it is a very difficult life cycle change to go through. So starting those conversations early on with the idea of, tell me how you envision the rest of your life to look like. So giving them some of that sense of power and control so that they don't feel helpless and totally vulnerable. Oh no, I don't know why this is happening. Kimberly, I'm not sure if you're still there.